Well, first of all, congratulations on this year's Emmy nomination and also 3 in a row.
Thank you.
Which is incredible and much deserved.
It's neat. Thank you.
I mean, at this point, is it just the morning of Emmy nominations, or are you just like filing your nails, going, oh?
I mean, I've never really done the whole like get up and pay attention thing, and because I don't know. I just feel like to do that would put my my attention in the wrong spots or something. Yeah. So I've always kind of just had my. I mean, the first year, I had just had my kid, so I was really not thinking. Like I was like. I was feeding her and which was still very new to me, and in her nursery, and my husband was like, oh, maybe Veep's nominated today, and I was like, oh, and we were trying to like get on the streaming, and it wasn't working, it wasn't loading, and we were just like, forget it, whatever, and that was when the phone call came, like I was in the rocking chair, like feeding my kid. So yeah, like your attentions just sometimes aren't, and I didn't even know what the date was last year, and then this year they changed the time, so yeah, it's there's no way to keep track.
Well, I mean, when you got the script for this episode, did you think, oh, this is gonna be an epic moment in Amy Brookheimer's life?
Well, that's certainly because it is. It's catharsis for Amy.
Yeah.
And they had warned me that there would be a standoff, is the way that they put it, and I know, and I was like. This is the first. I'm sorry. I'm like kind of cleaning my teeth as I speak. I really apologize. I just ate. But so I was like, a standoff. I'm like, they've been through so much, and Amy hasn't left. So I was just like, what could possibly, be the thing? Like, what could possibly be the straw that breaks the camel's back? And so I was just terribly curious for all of the readings that we had, to see how it would be earned and how it would make sense, and so yeah, when it came down to it, it really flowed, and from the first reading really of that episode, it really felt truthful and honest, and like it could happen, and so yeah, I was relieved and absolutely jazzed to do it.
I heard that you terrified Tony Hale from your dressing room.
I
rehearsing.
Did. Oh, yeah, I did. The poor, oh my gosh, I feel so bad to this day. Because we share a trailer, and not together. We're not like roomies. It's not like dun 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 dun. But that would be really fun. But like we're neighbors in this trailer, and I thought that he wasn't called yet. I didn't know that he was even at set. So I was just rehearsing, and I was, and the good, like the theater actor I am, I'm like going to rehearse as much as possible on my own, and so that's what I was doing. And you really don't get to do it full throttle that often. So I was going for it and really rehearsing it, and yeah, and so. I mean, I can imagine from his ears, from his point of view, he just hears me screaming like my head off, and emotionally, and so yeah, he came over and knocked on my door, and I thought, oh crap, like and I opened it and I saw him, and he's like, did something happen to the baby? And I was like, no, I know, he's just the kindest, and I was like, no, I'm rehearsing, and he got it right away. He was like, oh, okay, thank God. It's I guess all in a day's work, I suppose. It's a different kind of colleague you have when you're in our job.
Well, I read also that when they told you that about the standoff that was going to happen at the beginning of the season, you spent the episodes leading up to that planting seeds in the background about how Amy was going to.
You have to. I mean, you have to, and that I think was the gift of knowing ahead of time, and the I can't even imagine how he would have pulled it off if I didn't know, because it is so important to earn that, and so yeah, I'm terribly grateful that I was told from episode 1 that this would all be leading up to some kind of brink.
What were you doing off to the side, planting little seeds?
Well, you know, I will just any chance that, I mean, listen, the cast is huge now, and so it's like the first few episodes, you know, you would have maybe like a couple of scenes or like a little, you know, and so I felt like every scene I had to make sure that it was somewhere on that arc, you know, because yeah, that's our only chance we get to tell that story.
Yeah.
So I don't know, if you look back, I guess there's I hope there's moments. I hope it's evident. You know, just why it's frustrating her to the point that it is, and why this job is not what she thought it would be. And yeah, just all the little like reasons and the pilings on of her frustrations and her just not being able to continue. You know, by season 5, it all has to be there. So I tried my best.
And who knew Lynn Parham would be the straw that broke the camel's back?
Oh man, isn't she incredible? She's just like, she's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and she's like, you know, OG, like the you know, the waters, the improv waters kind of parted when she came on set, and rightly so. She's incredible, and I thought, man, like, first, that role was written so well because you really believe that person exists. I mean, that person does exist in many places, you know, and the reason it's so infuriating is just because it's like, she is intelligent, and she did get to where she is, you know, by saying these things and, you know, never taking a stand. And I mean, she's like crazy like a fox type, you know, and so yeah, I think that the combination of her in that role and the writing of that role was just so on the money and delicious, like, and infuriating.
Well, in that moment, is you and Julie Louis-Dreyfus and Lynn Parham, and both of them I know love to improv. Was that whole scene performed as written, or were you guys playing with it?
We performed much of it as written, and really, the bulk of the improv that happens on our show is not what you see in the final edit. Yeah. Like we all of that improv comes in mostly in the workshop phase of our episodes. So even though we do have such incredible improv actors, a lot of it, a lot of what I would say 97% of what we say on camera is scripted. So really, improv happens if we have time and they're like, okay, let's do a loose one, which happens, you know, and or like if they don't yell cut, you know, and then you're just like still in the scene. But and some of that stuff makes it in, but and definitely that scene that was written, especially because too it had to be so you know, so much was happening in that. That was kind of like a classic Veep. Wow, I can't believe they fit so much in 24 minutes type episodes. And so, you know, you really do want to stick as closely as you can because you just don't want to miss anything.
Well, especially that moment, I mean, that speech, not to keep harping on that one moment in this entire episode, but this Julius Sugarbaker-esque speech that you get to deliver has so many colors in it, where it's hilarious and then also it's heartbreaking because Amy is really good at her job.
Yeah, well, yeah, she is, and we go back and forth all the time on whether or not Amy's actually good at her job. Ron Klain, who is the chief of staff for both Gore and Biden, and you know, he's very known in this world. He takes the stance that Amy is horrible at her job, and I don't know that I disagree. And we've spoken about this, but she tries. She's so you know, she's so earnest. She so desperately wants to win at life and at this, like that. Yeah, she just goes down kicking and screaming, and I mean, the beauty of it of this episode is that, you know, Selena comes around in the end, and she actually does, you know, get it. So we talked about that. We talked about how is their relationship kind of one of those, like, Amy had to take the fall in order for her to even see, to be heard, and really it was magnanimous in the end. But I don't think any of that was going on in Amy's head as it was all happening. I think that she kind of found herself on a runaway train in that speech. She didn't know that that's how her day was going to end at all.
No.
So, no.
But what a way to go out.
Oh, yeah.
It's
well,
everybody's dream of a terrible job.
Oh, my God, right?
Saying goodbye.
It's true. And saying everything that you've, like, said in the shower or, like, been mad and, like, this is what I would say to them if I could.
In your dressing room overheard by Tony Hale.
It was scripted, I promise. Yeah, but it's and I also I've spoken about this before with people of in that speech, like especially the last words, and I'm not convinced that she's academically correct. Is she the worst president ever? Ever? It's who knows?
Well, especially in fictional Veep world.
Yeah, I mean,
God knows who's come before.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. We may have had people much worse than Andrew Jackson. But yeah, so it's one of those where they're at a convention. It's a political situation, but really they're just having an emotional, hurtful conversation, and it's a breakup. Like, that's really what's happening,
And that's what makes the final episode of the season so bizarrely heartwarming in a very Veep way.
Yeah.
Because Amy is unable to resist the lure of being there with Selena on the night the election results come in.
I know, and it is heartwarming, and something I love about our show and what our writers will do, especially with Amy and Selena often, is very much like true human beings, they don't know why they do the things they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she probably could never explain why she had to go back and what the pull is to Selena and what she feels for Selena. Like, it can't be written down for her. It can't be explained, and people just behave,
Yeah.
And so that's that's a perfect example of just like, oh, she's just behaving. But also it's I think a result of the catharsis too, because like really everything we see from her swan song on is her, is Amy kind of becoming okay with being an authentic self. I mean, I hate to sound so babbly, some psychobabble, but and again, she doesn't know this. Anna knows it, but she doesn't. And so I think by the end, when she has this pull and this instinct to be with Selena, she doesn't even really question it. She just goes, I gotta go. And it's like, well, that makes no sense. And I think that a previous Amy would weigh all of her options and probably take the smarter route and, do the thing that's gonna be best for her in the future. And, what Dan was doing was saying, okay, I have to be in this camp, that camp. But she doesn't. She just goes, nope, this is where I need to go, and I'm going to go. So that's like, wow, like progress as a person, I suppose.
Well, and you're about to start filming season 5.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the first season without your fearless leader.
Yeah.
So are you nervous? Are you excited?
Well, the nice thing is we have a new fearless leader. He's wonderful, and I think that everybody's, we're really excited about the new stuff that can come from a new camp of writers, and we have 3 of our former writers still with us, but now we have a lot of fresh blood, as they like to say, and I think it's I don't know, it's an exciting journey, to kind of just see what somebody else can bring to it. So I start finding out Wednesday.
Oh.
Yeah, I go to LA tomorrow for like a week-long rehearsal period. So
That's right, because you're filming in LA now.
Yes. Indeed. It's wonderful for everybody else. Baltimore was closer for me on the train.
Yeah.
But I'm the only New Yorker, so.
But you'll get to spend autumn in LA.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, or even January.
Well, January, yes.
So it's like it'll be really nice, I think, come January time to be like, oh, I gotta go to work. Sorry.
And now, if I may, I would love to do our newly instituted SAG Foundation lightning round questions.
Ooh, fun! I love lightning rounds.
I do too.
Yeah. Until I do them, and then I'm like, damn it.
Well, yeah. I actually meant to, oh no, don't say that word. You're on Veep. Come on, Anna.
I never know what's like well, listen, I have a 2-year-old. That's why I'm like, oh no. Oh, oh goodness.
So she's not watching Veep.
No, she's not. No, she'd be very bored, I'm sure. Winnie the Pooh is not on Veep as of now, and so she'd be like.
Yet who knows what happens in LA?
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a Tigger. Who
Yeah.
knows? Then she'll watch it. Okay.
SAG Foundation lightning round. So one of the things that SAG Foundation does a lot is very involved with childhood literacy and programs about that. And do you have, as a child actor, recovering child actor yourself, do you have a children's book that inspired you?
That inspired me.
Yeah.
This is lightning round, and I'm taking too much time. There was a book that I loved called The Snow Child. It has nothing to do with acting. It has nothing to do, but she had a pretty dress, and she was like a beautiful child made of like a snowman, and then she came to life.
Oh.
I loved that book. I haven't found it again.
It sparked your imagination. Doesn't that drive you mad?
Well, yeah. This is the one time I'm thinking of this, because I've found all the other ones.
Yeah.
Like Amelia Bedelia is still going strong.
May I recommend Mrs. Piggly Wiggly?
I love Mrs. Piggly Wiggly.
Right?
Oh, yeah. When she's older,
Yeah.
Because that's when all the discipline. Then you're like, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of those tricky books where it's like, yeah, you need to.
That's where I learned how to clean.
Yeah. See, good for you.
Yeah.
I wonder what I learned.
Of course,
I
now
think
I'm
not
Joan
to bite my
Crawford,
nails.
but-
It was a bite nails one. Okay.
Yep.
I still kind of bite my nails.
How did you earn your SAG AFTRA card?
That was a Chloraseptic commercial when I was 7, and it's this, I have like, it's very. This is lightning round. I shouldn't keep talking.
Is it on YouTube?
Continue. I feel like it might be.
I really wish I had it together enough to be like, and we have it.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
But I'm sorry, I'm not that together.
That's okay.
Well, how did you get your equity card since you just made your Broadway debut earlier this year?
Yes, but I got my
yes,
equity
well, I
card a
know.
lot longer than that.
I just wanted to work it in there in the lightning
I've been
round.
in theater for a while. But yes, I did make it. It was heaven making my debut. Equity card was Darwin in Malibu at Sag Harbor at Bay Street in Sag Harbor.
Nice.
And yeah, that was 2006? 6, I think. 5 or 6. I need to go look at my card. Right now.
It's okay. It's not an actual test. We're just asking questions.
I know, but I'm being judged by like the pearly gates. Anyway.
And then I get the last question of the lightning round, which is usually much faster, but
Yes,
whatever.
I'm taking.
It's the slow. It's like the heat lightning round.
Okay. Yes. It's like
just
the
lightning and then there's
Florida
no thunder.
lightning.
Yeah.
It's like
It's whatever.
the weather will change.
What advice would you give your younger self if you were going to go back and do it all again? I'm actually really interested to hear what you have to say since you stepped away from acting for a while.
Yeah, so like younger self.
Yeah, like before you started acting, what do you wish that you had known? What would you tell yourself?
That other people's opinions of you don't matter. That's, yeah. I think that caused me a lot of pain as an adolescent. So, which it causes everybody a lot of pain as an adolescent.
Not just you.
But it felt heaped on because of the industry. Yeah.
Well, then, so asking you again, what advice would you give your younger self when you return to acting then?
That I get. I think that advice can be advice I followed. Trusting that you'll work. Like just it's it's so hard to believe when it's really like when it's been 6 months since you've been called in for an audition, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the sooner you can start trusting that that this is your job and that there will be work, the sooner you'll save yourself some grief. That's all. But it it turned out.
Yeah, 3 Emmy nominations later, I think you're doing okay for yourself.
I'm very blessed.
And that's it. Thank you guys so much for
Thank
coming
you.
out.
Thank you so
Anna
much.
Chlumsky, for
Thank
sitting with me
you.
and listening to me babble.
Thanks for tolerating my caffeinated babble.
Have a great night.